Hey there, Sharon Halliday, the Book Sherpa, here with you today on Manifesting Mastery. So, I've started this new YouTube channel, the Book Sherpa, because my passion is to help aspiring authors conquer their Everest and write their book. But my other love is helping people manifest the life of their dreams. And they really go hand in hand because writing for many people, writing a book is a lifelong dream. It's something that they really desire to fulfill. Some people don't know how to go about it. They don't know how to get started, or maybe they've started and they don't know how to finish. And that's where I come in as the book Sherpa. And then there are those who have just want to have more financial freedom. They want to get off the grind and the hustle. They want to start to really enjoy their life rather than working and slaving away and being on this relentless hamster's wheel and maybe only experiencing glimpses of joy. So I believe that joy can actually be our default position, our default emotion. And a big part of that is being able to understand how manifesting works and how the universal law of attraction works and how we're so powerful in our minds. And if we learn to not so much control our thoughts, but be very purposeful with our thoughts. And so that when we catch a negative thought, that we're able to retrain ourselves and reframe it into a more positive. And that's a big part of being able to manifest the life of your dreams. So in addition to doing my work as the book Sherpa, I suppose you can say I wear another hat as the manifesting mentor, because you see, I have been studying and applying the principles and practices of manifesting for going on 30 years. I started this when I was 15 and now I'm almost 45. And, it really started with some Hay House classics. Louise Hay really inspired me at a very early age to understand that we have the power within us to create the life that we desire, to change our thoughts and change our life. And I guess then it morphed into being drawn in and magnetized by these amazing manifesting books. And I guess that culminated with The Secret. So just to show you that I am legit, I'm going to show you all the different resources that I have in your library. And maybe there's some here that you have, maybe there's some that you want to get a hold of. Getting into the vortex. This is a beauty. I love anything by the teachings of Abraham. I've got another one here. Ask and it is given. Can't go wrong. And look, it's pretty much my Bible. Deepak Chopra's Abundance. Beautiful. That's a new one. Pam Grout, she's got 9, this is EQ, 9 more energy experiments that prove manifesting magic and miracles is your full-time gig. I met Pam back in 2014 at a writer's workshop by Hay House. That was a moment in time. Angels of Abundance by Doreen Virtue. The good old The Secret, as I mentioned. Getting into the key to living the law of attraction by Jack Canfield. I've even got Angels of Abundance Oracle cards. One of my recent purchases, 8 Secrets to Powerful Manifesting by Mandy Morris. That's a beauty. Another Doreen Virtue, Divine Magic. It goes on and on. The Secret, the Power. The Secret, the Magic. Oh, everything you need is right here. A really good one. The Trick to Money is Having Some. Thank you, Stuart Wilde, one of my favorites. Thank and Grow Rich by Pam Grout. She's got it going on. Love it. Another little Stuart Wilde, Miracles. And of course, the classics, The Science of Getting Rich. I know there's Think and Grow Rich here somewhere. The Secrets of Success. Oh, one of my absolute favorites, The Abundance Book, A 40-Day Prosperity Plan. The Instant Wealth, Wake Up Rich. Now that's a good one. And I actually got a signed copy. And my good friend Stephanie Keith from the US, Trust the Universe. I got to go on Stephanie's podcast last year as a guest, and I just love her work. Love her work. Shout out to Stephanie. And I'm sure there's plenty more that I have here in my library and that just don't have at my fingertips. But I share this with you because I'm going to start doing this video series called Manifesting Mastery, where I'm teaching you what I call my soul suggestions. And these are what I consider my best tips, my most treasured advice and wisdom. I do that with the Book Sherpa videos, I'm giving you my best tips as for writers and for writing. So this is like my best manifesting tips. And then my hope is that you'll be able to take this practical guidance and apply it to your life immediately. And then you've just got to sit back and watch the results. I really urge you to not just listen to the video, the audio, but to actually take action, because that's where it's at, taking action. And, you know, as much as I love all of my manifesting books and I still reread them and listen to them on Audible, but the key is if you don't do anything with that knowledge, what have you got? Just more knowledge. You've just increased your intellect, but that's it. So take that intellectual knowledge and actually turn it into something by applying it and taking action. I'm sure you've heard this before from so many different mentors and different people speaking about taking action and how powerful it is. But when you take action, that's when you go from being an intellectual to being wise. And when you start doing something with it and it begins to change your life, that's when you begin to awaken. So I'd really encourage you to tune in and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. I'm going to get straight into this manifesting mastery, and I've already alluded to what the first big thing is, and that is becoming more positive and in your mindset, but also in your language. You know, there's so much trending now around being positive, thinking positive, and that's fantastic. We all benefit from the more that saturates the market. But if we get to take a step back and really look at, say, awareness. I say in my book, I've got it here, Messages from the Heart, just in case you're interested in getting another one of these books. Messages from the Heart is the book that I created and released in 2017. Look, I even read over my own stuff. But in this book, I say awareness is king or queen, because if you aren't being conscious and if you're just going through life on automatic pilot, then you're not really living in the moment, and you're not really then able to catch those negative thoughts and work on turning them into something more positive. If you're not being conscious, you're also not catching the positive ones where you can really beef them up. So the teachings of Abraham refer to this as milking it. So in the context of milking it, this means to take advantage of a particular circumstance and extract the maximum benefit from a situation. So when you have a positive thought, you really want to relish in that. You want to immerse yourself in the positive thought, you know, whether that means you go and share it with someone else, you know, share it on social media, whether you're just being so grateful for the positive thought that you've had and that you allow yourself to have that positive moment and really, really enjoy it. And I think how many of us have this, a positive thought, and then we just move on to the next thing, and we're not really celebrating it or feeling the feelings, the happiness that comes with a positive thought. You know, it's there for a reason, and it's a big part of what I do and what I'm encouraging you to do. And that is to take pleasure in the positive. And I'm going to say that again, because that's what the nuts and bolts of today's manifesting mastery is all about. Take pleasure in the positive. So on one hand, we're making a big deal out of the positive. And at the same time, when we notice those negative thoughts and we want to catch them, and then we can look at turning them into a positive, but we've got to catch them first. So the way I train my brain to stop the negative thoughts in their tracks is to imagine that I was putting up a stop sign, like a traffic sign, a big red stop sign. Or I could imagine, you know, a hand up in front of me just saying stop. This action alone has helped me to interrupt the pattern of negative thoughts immediately. And if you do it enough times, you get pretty good at catching all those negative thoughts. So at first, you have to have the awareness that you're having a negative thought in the first place. You know, and if you're saying to yourself, I can't do this, I don't want to do that, why are they being such bleeps, fill in the blank, then I'd put up a big red stop sign or the hand, and I could ask myself, actually say to myself, do I really want to keep thinking this thought? Because I know that it's only going to attract another negative thought, and then that's going to attract another negative thought. And before too long, I'm just going to start to feel pretty ordinary and potentially spiral, because I know from experience, and I'm sure everyone has experienced it, that's how it goes. That's pretty much law of attraction 101 right there. So you know that feeling like when you get out of bed and you're already feeling tired and you can't wait to get back into bed and you're counting the hours, okay, 10 more hours until I get back into bed because I'm already so tired. And then you stub your toe on the end of the bed on the way around to the bathroom, and then now you're upset, not just because you're tired, but you've stubbed your toe and you're annoyed about that. And then there's someone squawking at you from the other end of the house to come and make their breakfast, or something's happening and it's taking your attention away, and you're starting to feel pulled in all different directions, and on it goes. And then next thing you know, you're getting every red light, you're running late, and before you know it, you're spilling lunch all over yourself, and it feels like it's one damn thing after another. And that's what I think, it's like that saying, when it rains it pours. It's because we've allowed those negative thoughts to really gather momentum. And as I said, one negative thought attracts another negative thought, and then another one, and you've got to break that pattern. That is so crucial. So whatever works for you, I encourage you to start doing this. But for me in the beginning, it was putting up that stop sign or the hand. And sometimes when I notice a negative thought, leaving my brain and making its way to my mouth, and I'm saying it out loud, I'd actually catch it mid-sentence. And I'd think, I actually don't want to say this. And it's almost like I would then imagine this big fishing net capturing my words and bringing it back. Like I just didn't want to let it out into the world. And I would stop and I would pause. And sometimes I would change the rhetoric in my head, or I'd reframe it. Sometimes if the words had already left my mouth and I was in a conversation with someone, I'd even say to them, you know what? Actually, I don't think that anymore. I know I said this, but I really mean that. And sometimes I'd even say to them, look, it's just my old tape playing. Because you see, I think when you can be honest like that and potentially vulnerable and show that, not so much that you got it wrong, but that you're willing to admit, yeah, I made a mistake. I don't think that anymore. I actually don't believe that anymore. And I'm gonna nip that in the bud. So it shows that you're real, or as we say in Australia, fair dinkum. It's so powerful because it's not only you speaking your truth, but imagine the benefit that has for another person. It's like it gives them a blueprint of how they can do the same thing when they're in conversations and they've let go of a negative remark about something or someone else, and they want to reel that back in. So it's a really powerful thing to do. I mean, this actually happened to me recently. I was talking with someone about meditating and how people often have a stream of consciousness. And I added something like, oh, well, it's not possible to stop thinking completely. And she corrected me and I let it go. And it was kind of, for a moment, it was going around in my head and I was like, wrestling with this whole idea. And I actually went up to her after the meditation and I said, I don't know why I said that. I know for a fact that anyone can get to that place of enlightenment where you become the observer, and there's still there's this stillness in the silence when you're in that deep meditation place. And I've experienced it for myself. So I knew that was, what I'd said wasn't even true. But it was like, for a moment, I just, again, that old tape, that old me might have been playing. And it was this real moment of acknowledgement that I don't have to think that limiting way anymore. That might have been the old me that I was still like in the process of transforming and changing. But now I think this way. And I even said to her, look, Eckhart Tolle plays on my, like I still have one of those old iPhone shuffle type music devices, and Eckhart Tolle's on there, and I'll be playing my music in the morning getting ready, and next thing you know, there's an Eckhart Tolle track coming on about how you can have the power of now and to be the observer of your thoughts. And I now think in terms of possibilities and potential, not in terms of limits. So it's important to me to catch that when it happens. So my soul suggestion number one is to take pleasure in the positive thoughts and to catch the negative ones. But you do it with awareness. It has to start with awareness, having awareness of our thoughts and our feelings. And to do that, we need to be in our body more. We need to be grounded. And one of the best things you can do, regardless of whether you're in a city, the concrete jungle, or where I am, where there's beaches and open spaces and parks, I urge you to go outside more and plant your feet on the earth. Now, if you can't take your shoes off, just be outside and be present. Even in the cities, there's parks and open spaces. So plant your feet on the earth and just take a minute to ground yourself. Just stop and reset and feel Mother Earth. Connect with Mother Earth. Thank her for all that she provides if you're called to do so. Just be at one with nature and feel yourself grounding. Like you can imagine roots extending down to the core of the earth. I like to start by imagining this beautiful golden beam of light coming down through my crown into my chakras. I like to anchor it in my heart. And even as I'm saying this, I'm sort of feeling covered in energy because it happens automatically for me now. And so I bring this golden beam of light down as I'm connecting. I'm standing on the earth and I bring it down through my body, through my chakras, sending it down into the earth, sending it to the core of our planet, majestic Mother Earth. And while I'm doing this, I like to be thankful for everything that she provides. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just do the energy beam if you like. And you know what? It takes like 30 seconds. So there's no excuses. We can all do that. Even people in prison can do that when they're out in the yard. So I guess the point is it's a choice to do these things, which are like positive and productive. And I think sometimes we tell ourselves that we can't do these things. We tell ourselves that they're too simple, so they mustn't work, or we just overcomplicate it. It's so not true at all. Like we tell ourselves lies. And, if we keep playing that old tape, that's kind of what we get more of. So it's time to start speaking your truth. It's time to get in connection with that truth and with your authenticity. And I urge you then to get grounded. I realize that there's been like a massive amount of tips in this one first video. Like there's been 5 big tips already, and I'll add them in the description. But just to recap, awareness is king or queen. You need the awareness to be in the moment and to be aware of your thoughts and your feelings and to be in tune with your mind, body, spirit. That's the first thing to all of this. That's like the prerequisite to manifesting. Then it's about taking pleasure in those positive thoughts, making a big deal out of them, celebrating them, shouting them from the rooftops, whatever you got to do. You can do it silently and just be happy. When you've had that positive thought, feel the happiness that comes from it, milk it, make the most of it. And then when the negative thoughts come or you're about to speak negative words, put up your stop sign or an imaginary hand, tell yourself to stop, interrupt that pattern, do what you've got to do to retract. Take a moment and don't judge yourself. That's like one of the worst things you can do. Don't be go straight to that, oh, I should have known better. I need to do better. No, just take it in the moment for what it is. You caught it. It's all good. You can say to yourself, okay, I've had a negative thought. I actually don't think that way anymore. And I'm going to change it to something else, because that's your prerogative to do that. That's your choice. And here's the thing. You don't have to flip to the positive straight away. And this is what I teach my clients. Sometimes if you're having a negative moment and you're feeling, like annoyed and frustrated and angry, sad, even like depressed, whatever it is, it's almost impossible to go straight from those big, heavy emotions and those feelings and those thoughts to one of complete love and appreciation. It's such a big leap. So just stop the negative thought in its tracks. You don't have to immediately turn it into something super positive. Catch the thought and aim for something neutral, like Switzerland, like find your Switzerland. So I hope today that has been helpful. I know it's been a lot crammed in, but there'll be more soul suggestions coming at you from Manifesting Mastery. And there's one final game changer that I just want to share with you quickly. So in alignment with this new channel that I've created, that's for writers, but also for people who want to learn about manifesting, because as I said, I think they go hand in hand. I have released a manifesting course, how to become a manifesting powerhouse in 40 days or less. That is my promise to you, that in 40 days or less, that you will see more abundance in your life and you will experience a shift in your thinking and behaviors. And I'll just show you a little bit about this number that I've created. I've spent, really 30 years in the making, this thing. That's why I even offer you a money back guarantee. So if anyone doesn't love the course or manifest more abundance in their life in that 40 days, I would happily give your money back. That's how much I believe in the content that I've created for this course. I've curated meticulously these, from all those books that I showed you, all the programs that I've invested in myself, or everything that I've read and studied about manifesting, and all the practices I've applied, and I've come up with a few of my own, and I've condensed it into a self-paced online course. You can do it at your own pace. And the price of the course is usually $188 Australian, but I'm providing a special offer because you're here watching this video and you've made it to the end. So all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, the Book Sherpa, and go to the link for the course, which I'll put in the description, and apply the code MASTERY, MASTERY. And I'll put all the information there so you can access the course for just $88. It's a steal. It's a saving of $100. And depending on where you are in the world, in the UK or the US, it could even be a lot, it'll even be a lot less. So this is my gift to you for supporting me. And I actually want this course to get in the hands of as many people as possible. I've already had clients telling me, they're about 2 weeks into the course and they're saying, it's like they've been given a clean slate. It's like they've started over afresh. They're starting to notice their language change to be more positive. Their thoughts are being more positive. I've had people manifesting, extra abundant work that they wanted, which meant more money in the bank for them. Some people have won things. It's been amazing. I've had one person who only started just a couple of the videos and hadn't even got to some of the exercises yet. And she felt like it had already begun to change and shift her. She actually manifested an appointment that she needed to get to the dentist, which was like, a long shot. So they sort of moved appointments around and she got something. So, shout out to Kim. Thank you for sharing. There's been things happening for people just from starting this the first few days. And that's what I want for you, because there's so much magic that you can manifest. It's all in here. And I'm just guiding you through that process and getting you in touch with that innate ability. So just so you realize the sort of things that you would expect from the course, I'll just rattle off some topics. We take a deep dive into the secret and beyond. We go deep into the law of attraction and look at how mysticism and science come together. We touch on like quantum physics, the teachings of Abraham, letting go of limiting beliefs, creating your real-time daily high vibes, which is an absolute game changer. Subconscious reprogramming. We go deep into your relationship with money because, as Dr. Phil says, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Then we plunge deep into taking care of your energy. What are the blocks to the bounty? What's holding you back? We need to get your manifesting mindset right. We need and look at changing your energy to bring about more abundance, identifying where your self-worth needs attention, how to bring back the joy. We create a love list. We look at relationships and even clutter, because they are some areas that can really impact your finances. And there's even affirmations for prosperity. It's so powerful, and it's all wrapped up with a bow of gratitude on top, big dose of gratitude. So you also get the majestic 40-page playbook and 2 audios, one for morning, one for evening, to integrate your learning. I think that's everything. I crammed a lot of value in because, as I said, this course has been 30 years in the making with all the study I've done. As you saw earlier, I am the real deal, and I walk my talk. I do this every day for myself, and I've created an abundant life, and I want you to as well. So if you want to attract more abundance, learn how to increase your energy and let go of anything that limits you, and to harness those innate manifesting abilities that are inside you, then this is your moment to get the course. It's going to change your life. I guarantee it. I literally guarantee it. As they say, there's no time like the present. This could be your moment to change the trajectory of your entire life. And as I said, the link is in the description, and there'll be heaps of information in there. There's more to come. And this is the time for you to become that manifesting powerhouse that you were born to be. See you on the next video.